Hello everyone, welcome to Desert Succulent, and today we're gonna be featuring a rare Korean hybrid, and this is the Echeveria Pink Champagne. We have different colors for this hybrid, including nga yung green, white, red, purple, and in front of us nga is yung ating pink champagne. This is a cross between our Echeveria Agavoides Romeo and our Echeveria Laui. The intensity of its color would now depend on the plant stress level, yung kanyang growing conditions or environment, and also yung ating season, whether nga if mainit or malamig yung ating panahon. Like most succulents, our pink champagne is a slow-growing plant, and usually they can grow up to 10 inches in diameter, and yung kanilang thick and fleshy leaves are typically 5 inches long and 1 inch wide. So I have here yung aking pink champagne, and if we're gonna be measuring nga yung kanyang width nung kanyang leaves, it's actually about 1.2 inches already. Ayan, nakikita nyo yung part na yan. Yung kanilang leaves are also very thick. It's a bit pointy here. And you can also notice nga yung parang detailed sa kanyang leaves. Those parang lines mid-leaf, or it's actually very irregular yung pattern nung kanyang leaves. It's also coated with this farina. Look at this one. Ganyan kakapal yung kanyang farina if it's well maintained. It would also be giving us a beautiful bright orange flowers that usually would rise here at the center of the plant, and usually they are in group or clusters. When growing this kind of succulent, we have to remember that they can be placed anywhere as long as they can enjoy yung ating full sunlight in most days. If you don't have any direct access to the sun, then we can invest in grow lights, especially if you're gonna be planning of growing them indoors just to keep them healthy and maintain nga yung kanilang compact looking na shape. If we're gonna be asking kung ano nga ba yung ideal na sun exposure for them, is supposed to be at least 6 hours of sunlight every day. So that is something na medyo mahirap i-achieve, especially if you are located in an area na talagang hindi masyadong nasisinagan ng araw. In my case kasi, nakalagay sila sa ating rooftop before, and it's an open rooftop, and literally from sunrise to sunset, they are exposed to my sunlight exposure. But since we were trying to renovate nga yung kanilang new and permanent na lalagyan sa ating rooftop, nagkaroon tayo ng problem sa kanya. Look at what happened. Nabagsakan siya nung ating mga falling debris, such as yung ating hollow blocks before. If you have watched yung vlog na yon, ito yung nangyari sa kanya. These markings na nakikita ninyo is not a result of an existing disease or any fungus, but this one are actually some of its leaf scars. So since nabagsakan siya before, nagkaroon tayo ng opened na part here, and in time, nag-heal rin siya. Para rin siyang sugat ng tao. They would definitely heal and turn into this kind of color. Hindi lang yan, but madaming leaves ang nabagsakan niya before. So ayan o, if this happens to you, it's now your choice if you wanted to remove itong ating mga leaves na ito, since they are actually an eyesore, especially yung mga ganyan, diba? Nasa gitna pa man din siya, and we can easily notice them. But for me, I just decided na iwan lang sila dyan, since they are actually part of the bottom leaves. Eventually, this will dry and die, and that's the perfect time for me to remove this one. Ganito yung kanyang actual na sun stress na color. It would even intensify nga pag talagang exposed siya sa ating sunlight. But since it's been raining lately na talagang hindi nagpapakita yung araw, bumalik na siya sa kanyang original apple green na color. But even if na hindi siya fully stressed sa ngayon, we can still appreciate yung kanyang itsura. Watering them is also very important, and before we kept on saying na dapat we don't really overwater them, which is very true, but today I just wanted to focus nga on underwatering naman. If you see na some of its leaves are parang shriveling or they are dropping, that could be an indication that we have a poor watering habits, and dinidiligan ko lang sila if yung kanyang pinaka-soil is already dry. As you can see here, I think almost 2 weeks na din since last ko silang diniligan, and if I feel like na didiligan siya, nilalagay ko lang siya sa ating open area, and I just let the rain to fully drench itong ating pink champagne. And yes, sanay sa ulan itong aking pink champagne, and siguro that would also explain kung bakit until now hindi natin ma-achieve yung kanyang farina all over its leaves. So mostly nung kanyang farina can be found dito nga sa pinakalikod, kasi this is the area kung saan hindi sila nauulanan, unlike in this part na talagang pag umulan dito talaga sila babagsak. Even if na overnight silang maulanan, I'm not really worried about overwatering because of how thick yung kanilang pinaka-leaves. And syempre, yung ginagamit ko namang pot size is just appropriate for these two rosettes. We need to invest in a good potting mix that has a sharp drainage. Dapat well-draining talaga yan. So this one is not yung ating typical loam soil. It's a garden soil with some pumice stones, ipanang bigas, and some cocoa peat as well. We have to remember to change yung kanyang soil of our pink champagne every 2 years, preferably nga during the warm seasons or yung tag-init natin, kasi after 2 years, there's a possibility na yung nutrient kung saan siya nakatanim is not sufficient enough to support nga itong ating growing succulent. In cases na yung inyong succulent has fully outgrown yung kanyang pot, like what we have here, talagang lumalabas na siya sa kanyang pinaka pot, then we also need to repot them into a bigger na pot. Lastly, we can propagate these succulents through their leaves, through stem cuttings or separation nung kanyang offsets. If ganito naka-compact yung inyong succulent and talagang we cannot really see yung kanyang pinaka-stem anymore, the best way of propagating this is through separation nga nitong kanyang offsets. I think we need to uproot this literally, and that's the time we're gonna be separating nga yung kanyang pinaka-offsets. Probably we're gonna be making a separate video exclusively for this kind of topic, kung paano ba natin paghihiwalayin yung mga two-headed succulents or triple-headed succulents like this. And that's all for our pink champagne. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may also visit our Facebook page at Desert Succulent PH.